If you're a producer who feels stuck, this video is going to prove to you that you will get better with time and practice. But that's kind of generic. Anybody would get better with time and practice. But the thing is, you have to find it within yourself rather than trying to figure out how to be better from external sources. What's up? It's KO1BE. But you can just call me Colby. Today, I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going back to one of my older tracks from about a year ago, and I'm going to be completely remixing and remastering it from scratch, utilizing all the techniques that I've learned in the past year about mixing and mastering music, some of which, actually most of which I figured out all on my own from my own somewhat research and experimentation when it comes to working with the kind of sounds that I work with. In my case, are a lot of different things. We're going to be remixing and remastering Not Quite Right. It's not bad, but to me, it's just not sitting right when I know that the song has so much potential. Every time I listen to it, I come up with the things that I would want to change. The dynamics feel flat. The stereo image is just not where it should be, and it's not quite clear enough for my proper ear pleasure. I'm going to play you the original track, a 30-second clip anyway, for copyright reasons, even though I own all of my music. Of course I do. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm fixing. Some details will be more broader than others, but keep in mind, I've never done this before.
I know that you want me to stay. I know that you think that is right. I know you can catch me in a lie, but I need you to know what is right. I do this shit full time. Don't need you to tell me it's right. Just make myself some time so I can do it right. I won't put up with the lies. I'm seeing you eye to eye, and I want you to realize that all of this comes from inside.
So, join me as we take a look at my completely creative technology and fix a song. What's up, guys? Welcome into my home studio setup. I personally use FL Studio. Not Quite Right. It's a pretty special track to me in that it's the first track that I ever made that's in 3/4 time. I'm excited to take its auditory performance to the next level in terms of applying what I've learned since I've made it. And the first thing right off the bat with this project is the CPU usage. You can see it's already using 30% CPU when it's not playing, which is a bad sign. It shows that I've done a bunch of BS that I don't need to do. I'm going to clean that up first by highlighting the instrument patterns here and bouncing them to wave. Render out the sound instead of trying to process it as it's playing in the playlist here. Basically, right away here is get rid of all these plugins on the master because I don't need them. They are from a time where I didn't know how to master. What I do nowadays is I have a limiter at the very end of the track, a loud setting like bring out the beat so much. This is like my baseline master preset that I use while I'm mixing the song. And right before the limiter, I always put the limiter in first so I don't forget. Right before that is the 1176. I turn the output all the way to 0 so that it's the loudest part of the song. It's obviously the master, so this is going to be all the way up. The adjustments that I make is going to be through the input, the attack, release, ratio, all that. I like to keep the ratio at 20. The first thing that I'm going to do is turn everything down, dragging down all of these sliders, as in the volume of each individual instrument. And some of these might not be used. I'm going to be changing the vocal preset because I don't know what the hell I was on back then, but I did not know how to vocal mix. Look at all that. Look at all this. Look at all this junk. I don't need any of this. Going to the first sound. The first sound is what I'm going to start with by bringing it up in volume so that I can hear what it sounds like. And I'm just gonna bring it up until I think that it's a comfortable volume. Okay, that's good. Second is on number 2. So basically, by building up the track, I'm going to be able to hear how each individual instrument is essentially added to the soundscape that the track is providing. So the next thing that comes in is this drum loop thing. And I see I have some plugins on it, so I'm gonna figure out what those do. I do want to bring in the drums as they come in. Okay, let's hear what this Maximus is doing. I don't really know. Let's turn it off. It seems like these drums are really quiet for whatever reason. The thing with me mixing this project is that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm only applying what I already know. I don't have a plan for this. And this is one of the reasons why it's going to take a little bit to finish. But I'm going to only really record the key details and changes that I make. Okay. Okay, right off the bat, this water bass instrument, I don't even know what the hell it is. I'm gonna bring it in, basically. It is a pretty bass heavy track. Okay. All right. Now I'm about to get into the vocal mixing. Okay, and I want to preface this section of the video by saying that I recorded my vocals for this track on this microphone. Okay, this is a Razer Sierra Mini. This is a gaming microphone. And first of all, it adds to the vibe. Second of all, it's a little hard to work with because it's not necessarily what my voice really sounds like, which is why I'm super glad that I got this real vocal microphone for future use. Thank you so much, Full Sail University. So the first thing with the vocals is I'm going to add an auto key so I can figure out what the key of the track is, because no, I don't know that off the top of my head because I didn't major in music theory, believe it or not. And I refuse to. Anything that I want to learn about making music is going to be through my own research. And it's going to come through emotion, not knowledge necessarily. That's as far as my music theory knowledge goes. But now that we have the key, we can go into auto tune here. I'm going to select low male, and as you can see, the key is already set for us because the song told us what it is.
I know that you want me to stay. I know that you think that is right. I know you can catch me in a lie.
So that's what it sounds like right off the bat. It's not perfect. It sounds actually pretty okay. The first thing I'm going to do Let's turn off this limiter because I don't like to use a limiter for getting the loudness right. I'm going to use a compressor. And in this case, for my vocals nowadays, I like to use the UA Audio LA2A. It's a fantastic plugin for anything, I should say. And I use it quite often. It really gives it that authentic mainstream sound. Rearrange these. I'm going to add a compressor after this fruity EQ here, and I'm about to basically shape the tone of my voice. The way my method for figuring out which frequencies are problematic is by adding a bell right here and just sweeping across and seeing what piques my ear, as in what's wrong, I guess.
I won't put up with the lies. I'm seeing you eye to eye, and I want you to realize that all of this comes from inside. That you want me to stay. I know that you think that is right. I know you can catch me in a lie, but I need you to know what is right. I do this shit full time.
So the bulk
Don't
of my
need
voice
you
is
to
in
tell
this
me it's right.
mid-high range.
Just make myself some time so I can do it right. I won't put up with the lies. I'm seeing you eye to eye, and I want you to realize that all of this comes from inside.
That's not quite right. What? That's the song. That's the name of the track. I'm such a comedian. I'm such a comedian. A method of mine of mixing is by listening to things over and over. In the back of my mind, I can hear kind of what it's supposed to sound like, and then I'm comparing it to what it's actually sounding like in my professional studio headphones. And then I'm trying to figure out which changes I need to make. I can't just do exactly what I think needs to be done because I'm not that level of expertise. And in a way that kind of adds that rawness and originality to my music, whereas I'm actively problem solving while I make it, which is not only an emotional exercise towards the end result, but also it adds, like I said, that rawness and originality to what is considered my sound, because I'm very picky and I want to make sure that when I make something, a piece of music, it's not just good to my ears, but it's good to anybody's ears through any medium that they may be listening on, whether that be their phone or their laptop or their car or a club, especially when it comes to vocals.
I know that you think that is right. I know you can catch me in a lie, but I need you to know what is right.
Adjust the volume of every track so that it's the same. One sec. The very last thing that I'm doing is I quickly added an EQ on the master channel, and I'm just making those final adjustments to attenuate any of the muddiness that might be in the mix still, even after I just spent the whole hour mixing it properly. As you can see, I'm just scanning what is causing problems.
But I need you to know what is right. I do this shit full time. Don't need you to tell me it's right. Just make myself some time so I can do it right. I won't put up with the lies. I'm seeing you eye to eye, and I want you to realize that all of this comes from inside.
This is really loud in terms of numbers. -7 LUFS, that is more than double what it should be. Listen, this is Cole 1B music. Of course it's going to be loud. So guys, with all of the changes that I've made to this track, I think that it took me close to an hour at this point, which for me is less time than I thought it was going to take. but also I really wanted to make sure that I spent the time to have the attention to detail to make the changes that I knew needed to be made. And this is a first for me, really. And the song is called Not Quite Right. And even though it's not quite right, it's better in ways than it was before. And you'll really hear the difference when I do the before and after comparison here. But thanks for joining me here in the DAW. Everything that I've learned about mixing and mastering my own music has come from over 2 years of personal development. I've never gone to class for something like this. I've never taken a course online about ways to properly mix and master your music, because what I learned is that the best music is the one that is tuned akin to the composer's ears. When it comes to other music, and when it comes to people searching how to mix and master my music, there's a lot of generic answers. And the problem with that is that you're teaching big amounts of people to do the same kinds of things to their tracks that vary very widely across genres and across styles and across personal taste. So when you constrict that to a specific way that you're supposed to mix and master your music, it kind of loses some of its originality in a way. And that's something that I want to steer away from when it comes to mixing a track like this.
I know that you want me to stay. I know that you think that is right. I know you can catch me in a lie, but I need you to know what is right. I do this shit full time. Don't need you to tell me it's right. Just make myself some time so I can do it right. I won't put up with the lies. I'm seeing you eye to eye, and I want you to realize that all of this comes from inside.
So that's the new version of Not Quite Right. And honestly, it wasn't a dramatic transformation. It was refinement. This is how I make my music. Really. I build, I learn, I revisit, and then I improve. And I've done this to a number of my songs that I realized truthfully to myself that they needed improvement after learning certain techniques. These techniques can't be specifically defined by me because half the time I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And that's the best part. Really, there's no acting here, no exaggerated reactions. Every track I make teaches me something, and even though I may not know what the hell I'm doing that with intent to learn something new. Sometimes the best thing you can do is go back and fix what you couldn't hear before. So, if you're watching this and you feel like your mixes aren't good enough, that's just your growth waiting to happen. The only difference between an old version of a track and the new one is the time that they were made. So don't delete your old work. Don't hide it. Use it. One day, I'll open another project of mine and feel encouraged and inspired to fix it by applying what I've learned. And if this inspired you, I want you to remix one of your tracks tonight. Go do it now, and then send me it in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.